Hello everyone, welcome back to Demon Priest. Yeah, sorry for the long delay, because, well, simply put, I kind of, to be honest, forgot about it after part 9. So, sorry about that one. But anyways, this one is gonna be pretty good, I'd say. Alright, so anyways, let's get on to it. Demon Priest Part 10, Meeting of Crosses. Yeah, sorry, I did not put the in here for a reason. You'll probably find out about it soon enough. Anyways, where we last left off. Ah, the priest, however, realizing that the Demonium Infernae was only going to happen in a couple of months. The Nuncio recently gave him the warning. It was going to be within 3 months. So basically, he did not have very long to handle whatever situations he had. Much less, to add insult to injury, one of the actual bishops is also missing in the process. And it was up to him to find the bishop. So yeah, this one's gonna be fun for him. Anyways, after this notion, the priest heads out to meet the other bishop, the dude with all the caviar, obviously. He heads over and knocks on the door. Bishop, we got a problem. The bishop opens the door quite well readily this time, unlike the other times. Priest, I'm assuming you're here for something important? Yes. It's, how do I put this? Do you know about the Demonium Infernae? Yes, I recently received notice about it. Why? Has something occurred? Heard? The bishop's hands rub its head together nervously. Almost semi-aware of the potential ramifications. As you know, one of our bishops is completely missing, like off the grid. No one's seen any notice or heard hide or hair of it. The bishop looks at the priest. Yeah, define hair. Please do not make such jokes right now at this moment. This is important. I understand. Carry on. Basically, I need your help to help find the bishop before this entire place gets, well, let's just say glassed, would be the proper term here. I see. That is quite a dangerous notion. Very well. And I'm assuming that caviar is probably not going to be on the table if the entire area is glassed after the Demonium Infernae. Most likely, no. Very well then. Alright, let's go to have a meeting. Wait, a meeting with who? Oh, you haven't heard. I'm assuming you haven't because you were so busy with your priestly duties. He says this in a sarcastic manner. Yeah, thought so. Anyway, while you were busy with Dan and Bradford, I figured I'd start some scoping of my own. As it turns out, there is a monk in the city. A monk? Impossible. I thought they don't come this close to the city borders. They usually don't, but this one is special. They've only shown up once every, say, 200 years. 200? Yes, these men have lived quite solitary lives. Most have never even performed any social interactions. But there's one here, and he's coming to visit tonight. Possible. Possible. I've never seen anyone of the monks of their order. But here's where you'll be wrong. But first, I need you to pick up another caviar delivery for me. Again? I thought you were the one to pick it up this time. Unfortunately, it appears that the townspeople recognize my face, so... And plus, thanks to your efforts with the Bradfords, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do it without at least receiving a bullet to the face. Metaphorically, of course. Fair enough. I'll go do it. The priest heads out back to the post office. The demon appears behind him once more. Priest. Yeah. Do you really think he'd be able to help us? No. Then why do you talk to him? Ask him for assistance. Honestly, guys is kind of my only lead. Your only lead? I'm sure you have plenty of other options. The nuncio doesn't keep track of individual bishops and priests, more of the overall. He's more of the ambassador. He doesn't directly interfere with priest and church duties. He's not a people person. That explains why he doesn't readily appear here to everybody else. But why you? Well, if you already know, not entirely. I only know the surface levels. Your ideas of becoming a bishop, I think. But aside from that, I'll need more information. This seems unusual to the priest, because the demon usually would have just read his mind by now. I'll just figured it all out for himself. But the demon was actually asking for his opinions, thoughts, and heck, even just plain trying to get some information. Actually, like a normal person. Well, for starters, I wanted to be a bishop for the Vatican for like a long while. But, something happened inside of the Vatican while I was there. A couple of like pissed off people and the cardinals, like, yeah, the cardinals were pissed about what happened and occurred. The bishops even more so. You were supposed to be promoted to bishop, but instead you were kept as your rank as priest. Yeah, even I'm not entirely sure why this is. And the bishop didn't make any clear notions or mentions. Do you think it's potential corruption? Unlikely. Corruption does not hit only one person. And even if it was corruption, it probably would have hit way more priests, and bishops, as regardless. So, but what of... Doesn't matter what the Pope thinks. At the moment the Pope is busy with his Demonium infernal. Even if I could convince him to give me the bishop position, who's to say I'm not going to get transferred again? Or, heck, worse, probably be stuck here for the rest of my life. If I'm lucky. Still, not a bad place to end up. Historically, yeah, but in terms of, like, actual provinces at the moment, no, not right now. Understood. Alright. Let's get this doing this caviar and be on our way. They entered into the post office to receive the bishop's usual delivery of caviar. Our return back. No incidents this time. I kind of expected more of a warm welcome. Of course, fame takes time to develop. Right now, they have yet to hear of your subsequent defeat of Bradford. And for right now, the people are uneasy. There's a power vacuum brewing. Yes, I know this already, but what can we do to influence that power vacuum to prevent us from, well, effectively getting our butts kicked? Metaphorically or literally? Both. Both. So, I'm assuming our plan here is to... Well, for the moment, I don't have an active plan. And I'm assuming that demons don't exactly make for good power vacuum sources. Not quite. In terms of demonology, most likely not. And my memory is way more short about demon history. I've only just I barely remember half the demons in the roster, including the one we encountered earlier. You're right. Even then, I could have sworn you related to it to some extent. If he is, and if I am, I do not remember. I do not know. Uh, Shame. At the very least, let's get through this thing and see what we can do. But let us move. As soon as they finish the conversation, they give the bishop his caviar, which he delightfully enjoy, always as they head inside to continue the conversation. So, you're looking for the bishop, correct? Yes. Well, sorry to say, but I haven't seen him either. The only last notice I got of him was from a letter he sent, and that was before you arrived. Arrived over 6 months ago. Could I see the letter? Yeah, sure. He hands the priest the letter. The priest reads the letter, noting its lack of punctuation in some of the letters. This is odd. What? This letter is barely punctualized properly. Let me see. He hands the bishop back the letter. Yeah, you're right. The punctuation's off. Alright. I'm gonna study this. Maybe I can find some hidden message in here or something. By the way, I know there's a missing bishop, but I'm not sure what province. Any ideas what province? Laurent. Laurentian province? He stands up immediately. The second biggest province in the area? How could this man? How can no one have seen him? Heck, his kidnapping should have sent the entire news station into world alert. Yes, even I'm surprised by this. How can one bishop go missing? Missing in the second biggest city? Something doesn't add up. Well, it's going to be one of two things. Either Laurent is refusing to report back, or he's been kidnapped. Of course, the second one is way less likely than the former. So, what you're saying is Laurent could be purposefully trying to influence the Demonium infernal. Purposefully? Perhaps. But still, this could be bad. Bad enough to put down the caviar dish? Not yet. We'll have to see how it goes. He consumes a little more caviar. But, of course, speaking of demons, I know you've been working with some demonic forces at the very least. I'm assuming you're talking about the basement earlier. No, we have gone far past that now. To what you implying? The rings were banned for a reason. I'm assuming you've been using them to your own ends. If you are to imply that I am not implying anything, I know. Those rings are bad news for a reason. We banned them because of it. I'm assuming the ban was within reasonable parameters. Of course, we banned them because the priest realized that the bishop had no idea why the rings were actually banned. In fact, the bishop was actually looking around the room trying to figure out why they banned the rings. I don't actually remember. That's odd. You've always told me not to use the rings. And that they've been banned for years. Why don't you remember what happened to them now? Man, I really don't know. I've just kind of assumed that the rings were banned for a good reason. I didn't even question whether or not the rings were actually banned for the reason I thought they were banned. Well, I've also got even worse news for you then. What? Do you remember the story of Adam and Eve? Yeah, everybody. Yeah, you remember that story by heart. Genesis, I think, right? That's correct. And I'm assuming Then there's the part about Cain and Abel. Cain murders Abel, doomed to wander the earth for all eternity. That sort of thing. Yes. Cain's alive. Uh, he, he drops the caviar dish. Cain's what? Cain is alive. The Vatican is holding him. Not sure where. And I wasn't notified of this notion? No. And most likely only the Pope and the Cardinal, and a select few cardinals know about it, Nuncio included. I'm assuming you have evidence of this potential provocation. Otherwise, I may have just wasted my caviar for nothing. The priest hands him the bag of blood. My word, is that blood? Is that yours? No. The Nuncio handed it to me a while ago. If this is truly Cain's blood, then I'm afraid the Pope has gone off the deep end. What? What do you mean by that? Well, let me explain. You see, the reason why we call Cain a Bible story and a lesson in the ideas of, do not disgrace God or you shall be cursed. Yeah, his blood is one of the biggest reasons why. And also, Cain wasn't just any ordinary human. He was one of God's chosen. Well, ex-God's chosen, but still. Basically, they're not holding Cain. Cain's holding them. Apparently, most likely. He looks in the general direction of the demon, to which the demon was just politely putting the caviar dish right back in its rightful place. So what you're saying is, yeah, if Cain wanted to be captured, he would have let them capture him. So what you're saying is the Pope could actually be in legitimate danger then. Most likely. However, I've yet to find a reason that Cain would actively go out of the way to, well, attack the Vatican in general. Most likely. Plus, if all they're doing is harvesting its blood, they shouldn't have a problem. But what I'm worried about is long term. How so? Well, let me put it this way. Basically, the God's chosen can use all the abilities of the rings without needing the rings. Similar to the demon you got. See, similar to the demon you have at your back. He looks in the direction of the demon. Let me guess. You can see him? To an extent. I'm assuming by the fact he's not actively screaming, vialing brimstones, and vomiting on the spot, I'm gonna assume he's cool. Cool enough to at least listen to this conversation. I am. Noted. So, as you know, the Vatican typically uses a lot of Bible stories and, well, obviously religious proclamation to avoid, suffice to say, dangerous elements of those stories. You see, some of those Bible stories are real. Very real, in fact. At least to the Vatican. The other religions don't exactly recognize the stories, largely due to the whole church is greater than the Bible anyway crowd. Evangelists. Yes, hate those guys. But, unfortunately, we may need their assistance. Why is that? Simple. Cain's blood is highly poisonous to those who do not actively wield the rings. What does that mean? Poisonous? Yeah, that's probably why the Nuncio even brought it to you in the first place and didn't even attempt to drink it. Even attempt to drink a drop of this thing. This stuff's so full. So, what you'll say? So, what happens if someone without the powers of the ring were to drink it and indulge in it? Well, at first, they'd gain a youthful appearance. They would get physically stronger. And then what? let's just say death would be a preferable alternative to what could potentially happen to them. My God. Don't worry though. The only way somebody could have become like that would have been and if they had been drinking that stuff religiously for ordering on the edge of years. So tell me, how long has Kane potentially been in the Vatican? I do not know. I've only found out about this incident yesterday. I'm sorry. Only found out yesterday? That's correct. Oh no. The bishop very quickly put his hands up in prayer. My son, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this carefully. I'm going to need you, and to use you and your influence to stop the Pope from potentially destroying his entire council in one fell swoop. I'm not able to travel back to the Vatican at the moment. Duh, that's right. The Demonium Infernae and the missing bishop. Well, I'm assuming you have friends and allies here, so that's where you'd probably find information on the bishop. Anything else? Anything else you can help me with? Because you've been oh so helpful thus far. Actually, yes. A police officer dropped by mentioning a priest here. They came to talk to me or do an interview. It may be nothing, but still, you probably should avoid coming back to town here for a while, especially considering the Bradford situation. Nation on the news. You've heard? Yes, 2 Bradfords dead in one day. That's quite an accomplishment. Indeed, indeed. Although it was not by my hand. I doubt it. Still, the connection can be pretty obvious, especially considering how a lot of the populace reacted to you the first time. Speaking of which, I have not seen any of the other power players as of late. Most likely planning to figure out the power vacuum. They're most likely testing you at first, seeing if you're even worth your weight in salt, as they say. Well, considering that you've proved it to them, they're probably trying to make a power play. Don't know what for, but that's unfortunately for you to find out. Can't you help mitigate some of the effects? Priest, I am old as dirt. The only thing I really want to do right now is maintain my cathedrals, and other priests. And maybe eat some caviar, good caviar. He picks up the caviar. He picks back up the caviar as he delightfully consumes it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I intend to indulge while watching some of the Vatican news. You still have that old channel? It's kind of important considering the situation you brought up just now. Fair enough. Oh, take the bag back with you. The priest takes back the bag. Trust me, it's safer in your hands than anyone else. And for good reason. The priest heads out. Back to the club of Dan runs. And entering inside, the girls still look at the priest with less trauma, or at the very least, less malice, and more genuine liking, longing. The priest couldn't really tell. He wasn't interested in them at the moment. He approaches the female bartender. How can I help you? How can I help you, priest? You want some whiskey on the rocks? Actually, I'm looking for Dan. Uh, well, boy. What? Dan's currently in a meeting upstairs. But I'll let him know. Oh, you're coming up. Could you please give me a moment? All right. The bartender heads back to a door. Or the priest waits. Sits and waits. A woman sits in the chair next to him. Dining all by yourself? Or not that it matters. I'm just here to see a friend. Ah, a friend. That is interesting. Say, what's a priest like you doing in a place of sin like this? Normally, you priests would have condemned this place by now. Not that it matters, it is not of your concern. Just here to see someone. Cute. Anyways, I have some interest in the area myself. However, it doesn't look like. However, it doesn't. It looks like you're pretty busy right now. Priest, it looks like you. It looks like you've been invited to the meeting. Why don't you come on up? Ah, looks like my cue to leave. Don't worry. Don't worry though. I'm sure we'll meet each other again very soon. She laughs. She laughs a little as the priest heads up to the meeting. Inside there was Dan Beelzebub, and Beelzebub, a strangely well suited Asmodeus, and two other figures he does not recognize. Ah, priest, you're just in time. I was worried when you wouldn't show up. Please sit. Dan pulls out a chair. As the priest sits in it. Now, about earlier. Yes, it is true. Beelzebub's flies scratch around him. Ugh. The Bradford situation has been fully dealt with. The crows are running in droves, or in the crows' cases, murders. Yes, your business has also prospered a bit as of late. Feeling my guests would enjoy it as well, to delight at such beauties. All bored, all droll. When should we get something more? Don't be greedy right now at this moment, Mammon. Ugh, I came all this way out of my nap. So you better have a good reason for calling this meeting, Dan. I do have a good reason, in fact, priest. I'm assuming you have something from the Bradfords to talk about? A couple of things, actually. Firstly, those Bradfords you got? Those Bradfords? Homunculus. All of them. Never one for homunculus. Just devour them all, I say. Devour? You starting to sound you're starting to sound a bit more or like a queen of gluttony. Beelzebub just laughs at this notion. Yeah, right. Right. If I had my way, I'd replace my entire armies with homunculus. But alas, they are too weak, malleable, too beholden to its original creator. Regardless, creating homunculus doesn't seem like a bad idea. Much more time for me to sleep, relax, maybe do something else. Right. I have not introduced you two yet, have I? Priest, Belphegor, and Mammon, the respective princes of greed and sloth. So where's Satan in here? At a different problem at the moment. It appears the crows are attempting to perform a power play against him. Serves him right for trying to steal my wealth. You did not steal your wealth, you simply lost it. Oh, hush you. Regardless, I believe that I smell blood here. Not yours, I'm assuming. No, rather Cain's blood. Cain? Cain. Ah, Cain. Okay. He's alive. Alive and well, actually. In Vatican City. That is difficult. I have not visited Vatican City in years. Oh, the sights! Love it all. Especially the people. Especially the people. Hmm. Not interested in the people, more the money they can produce. No, but not just the money, the resources. That shall all be mine someday. Matters not, mammon. Just sitting around, lazing and listening to the pews and the hymns. Hymns enough for me, thanks. So, what about you, Beelzebub? They do not party, thus they are not my concern. They do not consume in excess, even less so. But Cain is the more important picture on that one. Why is Cain in Vatican City? He's a power player? Yes. Not to a large extent, but enough to where it can cause concern. Hmm. So what you're saying is, yes, if Kane's in Vatican City, that means he has every intention of trying to, well, make the Pope bend to his will. Assuming it hasn't happened yet. Uh, Probably because he forgot to keep all his blood to himself. Ha. In all seriousness, he's probably lying in wait for a greater plan or opportunity. Just because sloth is related to laziness does not mean one cannot plan around it. Yeah, Belphegor's got a point. Belphegor's got a point. If this is true, then I'm assuming we're dealing with a worse threat than we actually are. Right, but there's a different issue. Yes. Yes, thank you for mentioning this, priest. The bishop. Uh, why are we concerned over one lowly bishop? We can be absorbing all of them into our fold. Because, Mammon, this one bishop has been trying to provocate the infernal. Ugh. He's right, unfortunately. My gloves have been going down for a while since the bishop went missing. I have to actively keep myself in hiding to avoid further suspicions. That's odd, coming from you, Beelzebub. You're more of a people person. I am indeed. But that is not of our concern right now. I agree. My guests have yet to arrive. And they were supposed to arrive hours, even days ago. I am starting to get much more worried. I'm assuming he was working with one of you at the very least. No, no. Alas, not. Belphegor? Yes, he was actually working with me on a small project. Something about trying to induce a drug powerful enough to almost make it like death itself, but giving one of the greatest experiences known to man, supposedly. You haven't even tried it? Sadly, I did not get the chance. The man vanished on me days before final completion. Well, that settles it. Laurent is in hiding. He's not missing at all. So I'm assuming the problem is, without a direct access to Laurent's location, we are in quite a pickle. Yes, that Demonium infernal won't likely give me the wealth I so desire. Man, you and this wealth idea. There are other ways to get it. Yes, and I'm assuming you're about to fall asleep again, Belphegor. Mammon sl- Mammon knocks the back of Belphegor's head temporarily. temporarily unveiling the human form, or to his true form, before it veils back. Mammon, do not do that again. It takes so long to get a hold of this form. That's kind of odd. That's kind of odd. Asmodeus, you're only wearing a suit. Beelzebub could just walk around with flies. But why are these two, well, human? This one is a lot easier to explain. Demons don't simply walk around on Earth, unveiling their true forms if they wish. It terrifies people. Also, it puts angels on high alert. Searching the area. So basically, we wear these skin suits to, well, keep the population on low notice. As I am the sin of lust, I can maintain a much higher profile than everyone else. Beelzebub naturally is a party planner and maker, and he has no need to maintain or hide his identity at all. These two, however, Greedy and Glum, have a much lower standard and thus need to keep their identities practically hidden 24/7. It's true, I'm afraid. After all, you would be surprised how many billionaires it takes to make a man look this good. Mammon, Mammon himself looks to be wearing a golden suit and tie, high in opulence and wealth. The man is a living personification of greed. Belphegor, or his idea was lazy, self-trodden. The tie he is wearing isn't even really tied around him, up properly. It looks like he just lazily put on clothes and was good and done with. Despite the fact these are technically their human forms, the differences in their personality is blatant. But regardless, harmless. Any ideas where you could have potentially gone? No. What do you mean? Oh, what I mean is, well, considering your yawn, I'm assuming you know something? Something, Mammon? To an extent. I know a wealth of inflow sources. Ours is being funneled into a storage unit. Not sure what it's storing, but I can't wait to claim it all. That's on you, Mammon. I do not wish to unenforce your greed. Smart choice, Dad. Now we know what Belphegor told us, but what of you, Beelzebub? Any of the information that could be useful for us? Nothing in the winds, just the flies. So we have nothing at the moment. My guests are talking, but alas, nothing about what you are hearing. It's a shame, though. They are such lovely people. I only wish to get to know more of them, and all of them. Hmm. What about the Bradford situation? Well, the Bradfords were dealt with. Ah, yes, the power vacuum, of course. How could we have neglected that? Power vacuums, power plays. What about crosses? Hmm. No. Oh, no, you're not suggesting. Yes, I'm afraid so. I believe it is time to invite one of the cross members. What are you talking about? Cross members? Oh, right, you have not heard. Before you came along, we used to have other man of the crosses. The crosses were, let's just say, old faith territory. Pagans, originally. Yeah, before you guys showed up and tried to hunt them down across the entire Ire deserts. I'm assuming by you guys, you mean the church. Yep, that's right. Right, to an extent. Belphegor was already asleep on the table. So, what? So, who's the member? Well, you met her downstairs already. Eddie, I assume. Her. Remember a woman trying to talk to me. Don't know much about her, though. Ah, that would be Sandra Ross, a member of the satanic group, satanic churches. No, not the one of Levay, that's what you're thinking. Though, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the Vatican thought. No, she is a informant of ours. Informs us of the events that could potentially occur, people that is necessary. Even their wealth, their power, and their feelings. Drugs, sleep, solitude. All those factors and more. But of course, we are not discussing her directly. No, not at all. In fact, we are actually looking for something more. They all, they all lean over to the priest. Priest. I know you've only worked for Asmodeus and Beelzebub, but you've yet to work for us. If you assume I am going to do this willingly, no, that's not what we're suggesting. What we missed, however, was that Asmodeus gave you a gift. We didn't see it beforehand, but it appears so. The eyes. These eyes? Yeah, I wasn't exactly given a choice about them. I've been stuck with them for a while now. I'm not gonna have my old ones back. Not I'm afraid. Once they have been given to you, the effects are semi-permanent. Effects are permanent, meaning you cannot again remove them, even if you were to blind yourself. That's disturbing. You'd be surprised. Surprised how many demons have non-conditional abilities. And you're one of the ones that don't. Angels have them too, but don't expect them to give them to you freely. Yes, right. Speaking of, I am missing enough. I've never forgotten your gift, priest, for helping me out. Now, come on, Beelzebub. You don't really need to give me anything. Nonsense. Nonsense. You cleared out the Bradford situation. Clear, concise, and quickly. 2 in 1 day. An achievement won for the masses. Anyway. What? I heard something. The winds. What'd you hear? Uh, that. I believe the location of our bishop. Where is he? The old, the old Granton Alley. Well, let's all go there. I see no point in just staying here being idle. Priest, you're welcome to join us if you wish. Yeah, guess so. They all stand up. They all stand up and head to St. Grenan's, the St. Grenan's Alley. They upon arriving at St. Grenan's Alley, the fly took around Beelzebub. Ah, yes, of course. Thank you. Yes, this was the alley. Yes, this was the alley he was picked up at. Picked up at. The warehouse is but a block down. So what, we going in, guns blazing? No, not needed. The door should be unlocked. They walked they walked inside. They walked inside the storage house. Storage house to see quite a large wealth of resources. Horses from many countries, shipping crates, some in English, some in other languages. Ooh, this is perfection. So, what are we looking at? We are looking at more of a sound of sorts. If Laurent is still here, then that means he hasn't left his building in a while. Search the crates, and figure out and take about maybe weeks to sort through this entire thing. No, I have a better option. I am going to consume this entire warehouse of wealth. No, don't do that. I have a much more focused idea. If he still has the drugs on his person, I can just... Belphegor lifts one of his arms. And then lifts back down. Storage container for... What was that? Belphegor can sense the locations of drugs, the presence of drugs in a person's system, and, well, basically anything related to sleep, sloth, or slowness. Basically, he's like the best dang doctor in existence, but way too tired in his job. Keep the compliments coming. I could use the nap afterwards. Ugh. You and this nap. One day, when my job is done, I can finally sleep. Sleep for more than 8 hours. Really? Better than nothing. Fair point. Now head to the storage container. And open it up. Upon opening it, instead of finding a man, they find... What in the... They find what appears to be many different organs, ranging from human to demon to angel, and what appears to be the head of Laurent. Laurent, blinking and staring at them, almost in confusion or annoyance. Hey, close the door. I'm working here. What magic is this? Magic? Looks more like science to me. The flies don't tell me much about this here, but I'm assuming nothing good. Hey, close the fridge. Hey, you're melting my organs here. Not if you'd explain to us what you are doing, Laurent. Yeah, hiding around and causing a Demonium Inferno isn't exactly the good news for our businesses, though. Demonium Inferno, to what you are referring to? I've been here experimenting for the past 64 days. Hey, since I've got here. I'm not sure what a missing bishop has to do with my... You're talking about my predecessor. Predecessor? Yes. Laurent Senior. Laurent Senior? I've only heard of the Laurent. Yeah. Laurent Senior's been dead for over 20 years. They're probably looking for me. For me to confirm. And what are you, Laurent Jr., doing? Simple. You see all these organs? I plan on creating the perfect man. That sounds fishy. Suspicious. Not very cash money. Like an amphetamine after 9 a.m. Okay, alright, fine. I was just doing some gene testing. I was recreating and trying to implant my organs with the demonic and angelic parts. That's better. That sounds way more plausible. You and you demons and goddamn cohorts. Wait a minute. Priest? What are you doing here? Looking for you. These men just happen to help. Fair enough. I'm surprised the bishop isn't screaming at you for working with demons. Kid, I've been in this business way too long to know any relations between demons and angels is, well, pretty much out the window. Then, wait, when did that happen? Since the Middle Ages. Middle Ages, it's kind of been like that. Did you not even know about this? I knew to an extent. I didn't realize it was that bad. It is, unfortunately. Most angels, most angels can barely even come to Earth now. And demons barely come here anyway. Come here on Earth anyway. So, it's really less of a win-win. So, in terms of sin, should we take Laurent back to the church, let them know he's alright and well? No, I'm still in the middle of my research, and it'll take me some time to recoup my body. Ugh. Yeah, it'll take me at least 2 hours, then I'll join you. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait outside, though. The fridge is actually starting to melt. Fine. Very well, then. At least I can catch up on a nap. Yes, my bay houses could use some work. Well, I'm staying, and regardless, you can stay too, priest, if you wish. Noted. I'll do so. An hour waiting later. Dan receives a phone call. Yes. What is it? So I assume. Yeah, that does sound pretty bad. Alright. Alright then. What? Have you heard of a woman by the name of Aunt Betty? Aunt Betty? Not familiar. I thought I saw an old woman at my old speech, but that would be Aunt Betty. Aunt Betty. I'm assuming she is the mother of the guy who tried to quote unquote expose me, end quote. Yes, to an extent. Aunt Betty is not actually his mother, more mother figure. Aunt Betty is one of the second to biggest drug runners throughout the entire Bradfords area. How big exactly? Let's see, in terms of size, she'd effectively be as effective as the entire Colombian cartel. Dang, that's pretty big. Yes, although Aunt Betty has been in operation for years. Years initially. However, thanks to Bradford being, well, excommunicado, she's been rerunning her operations back up to square speed. And I'm assuming that speed's her main thing. No, actually. And also, because of the whole crow situation, black sugar is also off the table, too. So what does she normally deal in then? It's ironic in its name. In PCP? It's more commonly known as angel dust, but yes, PCP. Of course, god dang. However, Aunt Betty is also known for another. Aunt Betty is also nicknamed. It's also nicknamed the Kinder Death. Why is that? Basically, because when she kills you, she's going to be extremely nice about it. Terrifying. Yes, be glad you only met her. Be glad you do not have to meet with her directly. I have a feeling it would last more than 14 minutes. 14 minutes? Yes. That's usually how long most conversations with her last before, well, the person dies untimely from poison. Oh. Yes, it's one of the big reasons people do not meet with her in person, rather through subsidiaries. Simply put, it's a lot safer for someone to die in their place than them themselves. Oof. That's gotta suck.
Why are you telling me all this, though? What do you think? Aunt Betty? Eddie is trying to run something by you. Or at least your church. So what you're saying is this: Aunt Betty could be the reason my church could get potentially shut down. No, no, no. Aunt Betty has enough money to pay off the entire police corporations, nations in general. Even if you could deal with her, there's always going to be someone to take her place eventually. Way less nicer and way more violent about their provocations. I'm assuming Aunt Betty's the best case scenario then. Best case you're going to get anyway. You could be working with cartels or the mafia. Or God. Or God. Or the cash doors ultimately open. Levere and Roland. Ah, that took forever. Still, my work is finished. Right. I am assuming I am to meet up with the bishop to let them know my presence. That way he can send a letter noting of my non-deceasedness. I'll have to escort you there, just to be sure you don't pull another disappearing act. Fine by me. Fine by me. Also, priest, I recommend heading back to the church. I have a feeling that while the Demonium Inferno can still occur, it does not mean that you shouldn't be neglecting your priestly duties. Fine. The priest gets up and returns back to the church. Search through a taxi. Upon returning to the church, Hob is back. Mostly cleaning up all the pews and stuff. Ah, Hob. I'm assuming you're here. I'm assuming you're still cleaning then. Yes. Yes, there hasn't been any services in a while, though. The people aren't concerned, but still. Yeah, I haven't gotten any sleep as of late. I'm cleaning for most days. What about you, priest? What have you been? Dealt with the Bradford situation, but that's about it. I see. Anything else? Nothing uniquely interesting to you. Shame. Well, alright. Back to cleaning and going, then, I guess. Oh, actually, you did get a message on your phone. From who? The Pope, actually. The Pope. Calling me. Yes, he said something about a new deacon coming to assist you. Yeah, I'm assuming you're aware we haven't had a deacon in this church for over, say... Yes, much longer than you're thinking. Regardless, they want a deacon there now. Fine. I'll deal with that situation as it comes. Very well then. Alright, I'll go back to cleaning up. You go. Oh, by the way, the basement from earlier. Yeah, I cleaned it up for you. It should be ready for whatever rituals you're planning on doing. Well, none that are sanctioned, per se. If you catch my meaning. Very well, Hob. Thank you. All day's work, priest. Hob finishes cleaning up as the priest heads upstairs. To get some sleep. Deep in the longest time in a while. File. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna alright. So I'm gonna end it here. Here for now. Do not worry, I will return with another one soon. Yeah, this is slightly shorter than my other stuff, but it's pretty alright. It's going pretty alright. I may be improving in vocal quality a bit, but still. I could use more vocal quality improvements over time. Alright, you're welcome to like, subscribe, and do whatever with this. Yeah, my entire playlist is... Oh, this will be added to the Raw Cuts playlist.
playlist as intended. If you wish to have more content on this, you can comment down below about it. Like, even share this, even share it if you with your friends if you want. Otherwise, this has been part 10, and I'll see you in the next part of the story.